Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here. Well, the mainstream media is now spouting some of the most dangerous and absurd rhetoric that I have heard in a very long time. They are literally out there right now trying to oust their conservative and Republican competition by calling organizations like Fox News, OAN, Newsmax, Breitbart, any Republican or conservative leaning outlet, basically saying that they are living in an alternative universe. They are spouting false information and lies while they themselves are doing exactly that. You see, the end result here is to eliminate all of us and all of them from the airways, so there is nothing left but one political viewpoint. That is the Democratic, Socialist, Progressive viewpoint. This is very dangerous territory because how do you control the masses? You control what they hear, you control what they see, and you control what they read over the internet. And I am terrified that this is the direction we're headed, and they are literally calling for it in the mainstream media. Now, before I get into the report, just a quick break. Brain-eating amoebas have been found in the Texas water supply, causing them to declare a disaster. The Texas Commission of Environmental Quality advised their citizens to boil their tap water before drinking it. This is why I have a solar water heater from solarwaterheater.com. This thing is very convenient. It can boil water virtually anywhere, and it's very lightweight and portable. This solar water heater is solar powered and only takes 30 minutes to boil your water, and it's easy to use. All you do is pour water in the top, allow it to sit outside in the sun for about 30 minutes, and you've got your boiled water. The best part is this doesn't require any batteries. In fact, I've already used it to make coffee, tea, rice, noodles, and many other things. And it's so easy to sterilize your water. So check it out now at solarwaterheater.com or click in the description box below. And right now, if you use the code HAVEN30, you'll get 30% off. All right, back to the show. All right, so let's dive right into some of this rhetoric that the mainstream media is actually putting out there. Take a look at this first article, and this is on Breitbart.com. MSNBC's Wallace says, right-wing media is pushing an alternative reality and interviewing lunatics. And this is what she's saying in regards, well, to the U.S. election. But let me play the clip so you can hear it for yourself.
So, Rabbi, I was off a couple of days last week, and I tuned in to a little bit of Fox News in prime time and was aghast. I mean, they are pumping flagrant lies into the millions of viewers on their network. They are saying, they are interviewing these lunatics, these they call them lawyers. I'm not sure how any of them have law degrees, who are saying that there are a million votes here and observers not here. These cases have been filed. They have gone before judges who are Democratic and Republican appointees, and they've all been thrown out. I mean, do you share President Obama's concern about this alternate universe of fact-free information that's being pumped into Trump's base?
Notice how she laid that out. Fox News, I turned into Fox News to see these fragrant lies and feeding the population this misinformation. Who classified it misinformation, by the way? Did she? Who said it was right or wrong? I mean, she's on the record even saying that she doesn't know if those are actual real lawyers in Trump's lawsuit campaign. I mean, do you see the way this is twisted? It's very dangerous, but she's not the only one saying this kind of stuff. Take a look over here. And this is on Mediaite.com. This is not reality. CNN's Stelter sounds the alarm over Newsmax and OAN at boost amid Trump's baseless election tax. So here Brian Stelter is, he's gone on a rampage. I did a whole report on it here on YouTube about he literally listed Breitbart, Newsmax, Rush Limbaugh, Fox News, InfoWars, Gateway Pundit, a ton of them on there saying they're misinformation. But they just all so happen to be on the same political viewpoint, right? But we have CNN, MSNBC, ABC, all of them who are on the left. They're not bipartisan. It's not equal media, but they're going to sit here and call out one side. Again, that's not all that's happening. Check this out. This is Stand Up, Move Forward. This is TROFire.com, and its new report proves that Fox News viewers, that'd be, if you view Fox News, that means that you actually live in an alternative universe. This is an attack on our freedom of press. That's what this is, which means this is how they take control in other countries, like over in communist China. Guess who controls the media there? They're basically all controlled by the government. They're told what they can and can't put out, what they can and can't say. And the ones that are actually talking about things outside of that, those are the ones that get eliminated and removed. But they're begging the question, do Trump supporters live on an alternative universe? Well, I found this article, and it's a really good one, by the way. And it's on zerohedge.com. Do Trump supporters live in an alternative universe? And he points out the fact, basically all the stuff that I just showed you about those sources. And he says, this is what they're saying is true and what the mainstream media is saying is disinformation. This is how they're classifying you and I on this alternative universe, right? And he goes on to make this list. He says the list below, T indicates the certainty that things are true. If you follow CNN, MSNBC, ABC, and all of them, then these are true. And as reported by the left-wing media, they are left-wing. And D would mean you are delusional and you're only fed disinformation, which is held by Trump supporters. And that we live in a fantasy land for believing such things, right? For example, let's get this first one here. It's only true if to say that we had a very clean and honest election this year in 2020, right? But if you're delusional, then you believe this. There is a massive evidence of election fraud of every type, including programmed computer cheating, dead people voting, and massive dumps of Biden votes in the middle of the night. There is also extremely strong statistical evidence that the vote total, that there was manipulation. But if you believe any of that, then you're delusional. It doesn't matter, right, that people were putting up boards to block people from being viewed, or that there was high spikes in the middle of the night of hundreds of thousands of votes for Biden. It doesn't matter. You must believe it was a clean and honest election, regardless of the fact, right? And he really paints this in a good way, by the way. I like this article. But anyway, regardless of the fact that a couple of years ago, the mainstream media talked about this very thing, right? Here's an article, a flashback, and this is on Gateway Pundit. MSNBC in 2019 reported on how easy it was to hack Dominion software. And here's the actual article on MSNBC, Hacking Your Vote, Hackers Putting the New Vote Machines to the Test. And this is the whole thing. I'm not going to play it for you here, but you can listen to it for yourself. But the guy literally gets into how they hire all these hackers to verify our voting machines and how easy it is to hack it. That's MSNBC in 2019. What about here? We also have Lou Dobbs on CNN doing an entire interview about how these voting machines were located in Venezuela and how they need to be here in the United States of America. But hey, since that came from August 2006, I guess it's okay. It's only if it's in regards to 2020. But moving on, here's another statement that you must believe via the mainstream media, that Biden is president-elect because the news media declared him so. Well, you're then considered disinfo if you believe, right, that the media doesn't determine who the president is, that the next president is determined when he has enough certification, your electoral college, and unchallenged votes, right? But because we believe that, somehow we're delusional. Since when did this become delusional? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that Brian Stelter, CNN, and MSNBC, if they were truly bipartisan like they claim to be, then they would share both sides. But that's not really what's happening, right? Then we have this here. Here's their truth story. The story about Hunter Biden's laptop is Russian disinformation, even though they came out and said it was not Russian disinfo, but it's designed to make you think Biden did something wrong. But Joe doesn't do things that are wrong. Joe will bring integrity back to the White House. And so the mainstream media ignored, blacklisted, censored, and removed any and all information on Hunter Biden's laptop. What's the disinfo, which they call disinfo? The laptop belongs to Hunter Biden. Somehow that's disinfo. Russia had nothing to do with it. Well, you can't say that. That's disinfo. There is a massive amount of information on the laptop, having schemes that enrich the Biden family by selling info. And it goes on to talk about Tommy Bobolinsky and everything else, and the Chinese leaking of information. But somehow, none of that is true. You have to look the other way. That's what we're being labeled as disinfo, as not true, as what? So basically, talking about real things, can't do that. Here's another one. President Obama set a good example of a peaceful transition to power. I think we all remember the Russia collusion right now and how the accusations through President Trump and his entire crew talking about how he was spied on by Obama's administration. But hey, here's another one here. Trump and his supporters are white supremacists. This is true. You have to follow it. This is what we say. This is what's going on. When in reality, right? What about the fact of what some of the stuff that Biden said? It was really racist comments that he's made in the past, right? I'm not going to read them. You can read them for yourself because they're downright disturbing. But you're going to sit there and call an entire base a white supremacist, and we're just supposed to believe it. And here's another one. One of the biggest problems facing Black people today is that police are shooting large numbers of innocent Black people for no reason at all, right? And America is a racist country where Black people have no chance because of institutional racism. Obama said racism is still part of our country's DNA that was just passed on. And the Black Lives Matter movement may be the solution. That's what we're told. That's what we're fed. That's what we must believe. And if we follow anything else, right? Then it's disinformation. Basically, right, there's more Black on Black violence than there is from police shooting Black people. But if we actually quote statistics and facts, that's disinformation. You must believe the party narrative. And if you don't, you're a lunatic living in an alternative universe, and you're only spouting one-sided news. Fox News is not bipartisan. Wait, what? Neither are any of you. None of you at all, right? Trump, here's another misinformation or true information. Trump caused the hate that we see in this country. He caused it. It's his fault. And here's what we say. The violence and hateful rhetoric is not coming from our side. It's mainly coming from the left who, BLM, Antifa are out there burning and anarchists are out there burning our cities and streets and harassing people at restaurants and harassing Trump people. But yet somehow it's coming from our side. I mean, really? You have to believe the party line. This is the kind of stuff we're dealing with. And here's one more that they shared. Most of the big things that people need can be free. If we can get the right people in power, free housing, free income, free schools, free college, free medical, free. And if you don't agree with free, then you're disinfo, right? We on our side say nothing is free. It's all going to come out of your paycheck. They don't give you anything without you taking something from you. But we can't say that. Can't say that. God forbid. Right? This is really what we're faced with. Why is this very dangerous rhetoric? Because they're literally telling you, you can't follow any of these news sources because they're misinformation. The only news that is reliable is CNN, MSNBC, ABC, and the left-wing media. But they're literally calling information that is just as validated, if you will, as stuff on their side, if not more, as misinformation because they're simply telling us it's not true. It doesn't matter what science, what evidence, what facts, doesn't matter. That's called controlling a population. That's called leading us down a road to tyranny. That's called what they do in communist China, what they do in Venezuela, what they do in countries that control their people. And it's happening here in the United States of America. Anyhow, I wanted to just kind of show you that so you could see what's truly happening in our country. And I've gone way longer than I like. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.